As you all know, the guest speaker and the subject of today is yes, it is 7 steps to create lasting change. That's the topic of today's episode number 199. And to talk on this subject, to let all of us know what are these 7 steps to create lasting change so that we become a better version of ourselves. I would like to invite the guest speaker, but please help me to welcome our guest speaker and give a big round of applause to our guest speaker, who is Munir Al Busaidi. Yes, Munir is a hypnotist, peak performance coach, NLP trainer, speaker, author of best-selling book Power of Persuasion, and he is someone who grew up as a shy and awkward kid, but he is a passionate individual and he has a great passion and mission to help people to become more confident and connect confidently, converse, and communicate. And that's the mission, that's the power he has. And today he is going to talk and inspire all of us on the topic, which is 7 steps to creating lasting change. So I'm sure you all are excited. I am also excited. And with this word, I'll request Munir to please take the stage and inspire all of us, sir. Over to you, Mr. Munir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. I hope you're all excited. First of all, I want to say, if you don't have fun, the cat's going to get it. Okay. So today is all about having fun. Otherwise, this cute cat is going to get it. Okay. So first of all, I want to welcome you. I'm so excited, so honored to be here. I'm going to be combining the science as well as the art. And we're going to be talking about how to create lasting change, not just any change. Ladies and gentlemen, what type of change? Please put it in the chat. Yes, this is going to be an interactive session. Yes, I'm going to be asking you to put stuff in the chat. And yes, you are going to have an awesome time when you participate. So ladies and gentlemen, please do me a little favor. When I say it is the 7 steps to what change, please put it in the chat. I want to know you're listening. I want to know you're here. Otherwise, I'll feel a bit lonely. But today we're going to have a really awesome time. So, all right, excellent. We got it. Lasting change today. We're talking about the 7 steps to lasting change. Now, let me just see if I can share my screen. I can share my screen. So we are about to have an awesome time. Get ready. Get steady. Let's make stuff happen. Can everyone see my screen? If you can, let me know and let us go. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of. All right. So I'm talking about the 7 steps to lasting change, and I'm going to be speaking about how you can use NLP. What is NLP? I'll tell you what NLP is in a minute. But how you can use NLP to transform your thoughts, feelings, and actions, not just of yourself, but of others as well. So NLP is basically neuro-linguistic programming, which is essentially the guide to your mind. Like, it's the user manual for your mind, how you think. Now, this last year has been a bit of a challenge for so many of us. You know, we've been stretched financially, we've been stretched emotionally, we've been stretched health-wise. Our emotions have been stressed. How many of you would like it if you had the skills, the toolbox, to make 2021 a complete turnaround, to make 2021, to make this the pivot so that next year you go further, faster than ever before, and you leave whatever challenges you've had in the dust? How many of you would like that? Put a little yes for me in the chat. Just put a little yes for me in the chat. Okay? I want to hear a little yes, a little something, something. Let's, guys, okay. We're gonna I want this to be super interactive. The way that you get the most out of this. You guys have come, you've invested your time. You interact with me, I will deliver for you. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. So we got Major saying yes, Sarat, yes, Srini, yes, Shazia, yes. You see, when there's a lot of S's, that means it's extra excitement. So I love it. Jaigenesh, yes. Abdul Khalik, yes. All right. Abu Bakr, yes. Awesome. All right. So let's get going. So first of all, I want to welcome you and congratulate you. You guys are some of the few who showed up versus the many that just talk about how they want change, but yet they aren't willing to invest the time. They aren't willing to invest the effort. You are here because you are an action taker. And so I honor you. I respect you for coming here today. And I'm going to deliver for you. We got a short time together, but I'm going to deliver for you guys. So a little bit about what are you going to be discovering today. We are just going to be sharing the 7 keys to creating lasting change, how you can use something called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to transform your life, to transform other people's lives. So, and what we're going to be talking about, when you stay till the end, I'm going to be sharing with you an ebook, like not just the notes from today, a whole ebook that gives you this whole strategy, these whole 7 steps, so that you can utilize them in your life. Sound fair enough? All right, let's get going. So why is this different? Why is when I share these techniques, why is it different to any other technique? First of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. When I first started out in like a number of years ago, I had a lot of insecurities. I was working in a job. I was working at Ittihad in Abu Dhabi. About 4 years ago, my boss called me into the office and he said to me, Munir, I don't know how to say this, but you know, the economy is kind of suffering, and I've been told we're going to have to cut a few jobs. Now, you're not in danger at the moment, but I needed to let you know that at some point, you know, if you don't have a plan B, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I got quite stressed about it. And at the time I had a lot of insecurities. I had a lot of challenges with my self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have that much confidence. So I started investing in personal development. I'd gone to Toastmasters. I'd started growing, etc. But I wanted to take it to another level. And so I started looking into something called NLP. And I looked at the price. I was like, oh my God, maybe I don't need it. Maybe I can just stay where I am. But I made a decision that, you know what, while I have a job, let me inoculate myself and make sure that I'm going to be safe in the long run. Let me make sure that I can, I invest in myself while I can, so that when I need to, I am okay. And so I ended up, I traveled around the world and I met with all the top experts, not just of NLP, but on human behavior. So I went and I studied with the guy that co-created NLP, Dr. Richard Bandler. I went and studied with the other co-creator who created NLP, who's John Grinder. I went to every one of Tony Robbins' events. Because he's the guy that made NLP famous. I met with some of the best-selling authors, the top best-selling author in the UK, Paul McKenna, who's pushed NLP into the limelight in the UK. I traveled and I learned from all of these guys. And like learning all of these different things, I'm not just a person that learns. I applied everything in my own life. So I tested different things out. I found different ways of doing different things, and I tested, compiled, put together, took things apart, and I tested everything. And I'm very proud to say, like today, I come to you as someone that has, is not just, I'm not just someone that has studied this thing. I've used it to transform my life. And as a result, I've not just transformed my life, but I've transformed the lives of a number of people around the world. And today I'm very proud to say to you that, I'm confident. I now do this full time. I'm paid to do what I love. I'm proud of what I do because I'm helping others. I became an international best-selling author. I was featured on Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. Before I was just customer of the month at KFC, but that's another matter. And I say this to you not to impress you, but I want to impress upon you that if I can change, you can too. I know what it's possible. Also, yeah, and one of the things I'm so proud of is today that I impact people's lives. I'm so proud that I'm able to impact people's lives. I'm able to transform people. And what I'm saying is, if I can do this, you can too. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how you can do this. Okay. So just very quickly, how many of you are excited about today? How many of you are excited? Give me a little whoop, whoop, whoop. Something, a little something, anything. We don't need to. All right, I got a me. All right, excellent. Excellent, good stuff. Feel like guys, I want to show you that this is valuable stuff. Like this can truly transform your life. Jagnesh is like, not much. Okay, well, it's great to see you, Jagnesh. If you don't want to. If you want to hurt my feelings, that's totally fine. It's all good. Shazia is super excited. I love it. Awesome. All right, cool. So, also, I just want to say before we get started, it's really awesome that the guys over here are on their 199th episode, and I want to acknowledge you guys for continually taking action. That's so amazing. Funnily enough, I literally just completed my 200th day going live every day in a row. And I speak about a lot of these topics on a daily basis. If any of you are interested in it, please do consider subscribing on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Munir. I go live every single day and I speak about these topics. So let's get going. So also, like I said, when you stay till the end, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 steps to lasting change. I'll give you the ebook so that you can utilize that and refer to it in your own time. All right, cool. So 7 steps to lasting change. All right, cool. Super excited from Abdul Khalik. All right, let's go for it. So let's go. These are the 7 steps. So these are the 7 steps. Connect and appreciate their world, get leverage, interrupt. Probably doesn't make as much sense right now. So I'm going to talk through each and every single one. First of all, the first step that you want to do, if you want to create lasting change with anybody, the first step you want to do is 2 parts. Connect and appreciate their world. What do I mean by connect? Well, first of all, if you're going to work with anybody, you have to have, like, they need to like you, feel like they trust you, like you, feel like they know you. And so the first thing is you want to create rapport, okay? In NLP, there's a number of ways to create rapport. However, the second part is, which is understand their world. And this is about, if you want to effectively influence somebody, you have to find out what already influences them. Let me repeat that. For you to effectively influence somebody, you have to find out what already influences them. What do I mean by this? Well, essentially, there are, I'm not just talking about sales. If you want to influence someone, whether you're trying to persuade them, whether you're trying to coach somebody to make a lifelong change, whether it's yourself, and you want to make a lifelong change, you want to understand what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, what should you build on, what should you not, etc. And so to influence a person, find out what already influences them. So I have a full system that I'm going to go through, but I'm just going to share with you a couple of things. So I'm going to give you a few examples. These are like 3 of the sort of 12 examples that I'm going to talk through. But let's start off with beliefs. Okay. I want you all to write down for me. If I said to you, life is what? Just write down, life is what? What is life for you? Okay. So just write down, life is what? Now, here's what I mean. So first of all, global beliefs. We're talking about global beliefs. A global belief is a belief that we may have about big categories in life, something that we all have. So for example, there's someone saying life is a challenge, right? Life is pairs. That's an interesting one. I've never heard that one before, but that's interesting. Life is experiences. So I want you to imagine this, right? If someone believes that life is beautiful and someone believes that life is difficult, who do you think is generally going to be happier? Right? Someone that says life is beautiful or life is difficult, who do you think is going to generally be happier? So put that in the chat. So when it comes to understanding somebody, these are a couple of the things that you want to find out. You want to find out their global beliefs. What do they believe about life? What do they believe about time? What do they believe about money? If it's a woman, what do they believe about men? If it's a man, what do they believe about women? Or, all these are global beliefs. What do they believe about a number of things? So, so Dr. Muhammad, hey, great to see you, by the way. Someone who says life is beautiful, yes, is going to generally feel a lot happier. So you can tell a lot about a person when you understand their global beliefs. So the first thing you were looking at, understand global beliefs. Second thing you want to find out, what are their identity beliefs? What is an identity belief? One point in my life, I thought I used to say, I am shy. I am not confident. I am not able to make people laugh. Today, I have taken my identity beliefs. Okay, so this is the second thing. And I have converted my identity beliefs. I am confident. I am able to speak whenever I want. I can make people laugh. So, do you see how I operate very differently? I'm the same person, but my identity beliefs will tell you how I behave, right? So when you're trying to find out about a person, the first things that you want to find out about, what are their global beliefs? What are their identity beliefs? What are their values? What's important to them in life? Now, let's say, I don't know, let's say myself and Dr. Muhammad Najib, right? Let's say that we both have the same values, okay? Let's say both of us, one of our top values is love, right? Let's just say, for me, one of the top things in my life, the top value, this is important to me, is love, feeling loved. The same thing for Dr. Muhammad Najib. Now, if you ask Dr. Muhammad, what are rules? Rules define how we experience those same values. Because for Dr. Najib, if I said, what needs to happen in order for you to experience love? And he'll be like, if my family just smile at me, I'm happy. I feel love. And then if you ask me and I say, you say, what needs to happen for you to experience love? And I say, someone has to say, I love you every single day. They have to buy me gifts. They have to do everything I say. And they have to not argue with me. Who is going to feel loved more often than not? And that's probably Dr. Muhammad Najib, because his rules are very different to my rules. And so when it comes to understanding a person, just saying, work is important to this person, or success is important to this person. what are their rules for success, right? You know, just saying success is important to that person, that's a value. Great. A lot of courses will tell you find out what's important to them, but how do you define what's important to them? That's where rules come in. Does this all make sense? Does this all make sense? If it makes sense, just put in a little sense, right? Right? Sense in the comment, right? So, yeah, exactly. So you simplify, etc. Yes, but a lot of the times, a lot of people don't even realize their rules until you ask them. And that's why it's very, very powerful to ask people, what are your rules? Well, no one will know, but you got to phrase it correctly. So these are different ways that you can understand a person, truly understand a person. And you know, there's a number of questions you can ask that will help you identify what are their global beliefs, their identity beliefs, their values, rules. And I'm not going to go through all the different ones. I mean, this is from a full-on course, but hopefully you get it. This is about understanding. And I want to give you a quick example of how powerful this is. I have helped people in a coaching session just by asking them. I asked somebody once, I said, what is life to you? And they said, life is like it's like a video game. I said, oh, interesting. It's like a video game. Tell me more. And they said, well, I mean, you know, there's like levels, you know, you have to do good things and you rack up points and then you can go to the next level, and then you rack up points and you can go to the next level, and you have to grow and etc. As soon as I got that, right, when I started coaching them, I would just talk about, yeah, and what is it going to need, you know, what do you need to do in order to do more good so you can rack up these points and go to that next level. Now, if I'm talking to anybody else, that may not make sense, but to this person, I was in their world. I understood what influenced them. I understood their model of the world, and I was able to influence them and impact them very quickly just by using their metaphor, the thing that was going on in their mind. Okay, so step one is about connect and understand their world. All right, connect and understand their world. So the second part, and this comes from the 11 keys to truly understanding people. It's in my course, Master the Mind. Now, rapport building is the part that comes under connection, because it's not just, you can't, if somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to want to give you answers. And so again, in NLP, we teach a whole bunch, and you can research a bunch about building rapport. But that's step number one. Okay, connect, get them to like you, understand you, like you, appreciate you, and then appreciate their world. And when you do that, you can, this gives you a solid foundation in order to move forward. Does this make sense? All right, excellent. So let's talk about step number 2. When I moved from Bahrain to Abu Dhabi, I moved here from Bahrain, and I put on a lot of weight, like a lot of weight. So and I became like pretty like double nearly what I am now. And right now I'm not at my healthiest, but I had put on a lot of weight when I first moved from Bahrain. And one day I was kind of walking around, and I bumped into someone I knew from Bahrain. Now, quickly, I just want a little interaction time here. How many of you have an aunt, a cousin, a friend that is brutally honest? Like, you know, they just say it like it is. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Just drop me a little yes, a little Y even. Just the letter Y is fine. Okay. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Here, yeah, Wifaq, yeah. Yeah. So I bumped into this guy that I knew from Bahrain. And as I was walking, he saw me and he looks at me and he goes, Munir, what happened to you? You became fat. And I was like, whoa. And I started to try and make jokes about it. I was like, yeah, it's just a delivery here in Abu Dhabi. I kind of, and he went, no, Munir, stop it. Stop it. Don't joke about this. You need to change, and you need to change now. I was like, whoa. And I was like, I kept trying to make a joke of it. And he's like, Munir, this is disgusting. You need to go and change, and you need to change now. Next time I see you, I don't want to run into you looking like this. And I went, oh my God, ouch. So here's the thing. I went back. How do I put this? I went back, a little sad face, trying not to cry. And I got like, for a while I was a little upset, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I am no way I'm going to let this guy ever see me again the way I was. And so because of that interaction, I changed. All right. So we're talking about brutal honesty, like saying it is what it is. So how do you do that? So step number 2 is about creating leverage. When I talk about creating leverage is about changing the, you know what, I should do it. How many of you have things that you should do in life? Just let me know. Have you got something in life that you should do? How many of us do the things that we should do, right? Have you got something in your life you should do? Yeah. Yes, yeah. Lots, Khalid Khan, there are many things, yeah. And here's the thing, there's so many things that we should do. We should all over our lives, right? But the reality is, when you want to turn your should into a must, and I must now. Okay, let me repeat that. You got to convert your should into a must, and I must now. Before I met up with that guy, I was like, you know what? I should work out again. I should lose weight. I should eat healthy. But after meeting him, it became a must, and it must now. And so, how do you do that with NLP? The one form is just creating raw pain. Okay, and that's what this guy did. It wasn't very elegant, but it's effective, right? It's effective. If you go, if a doctor says to you, you need to quit smoking or you're going to die tomorrow, then people generally, they stop. But that's brute force. It's not very elegant, but it's effective. And that's what happened to me. But there are other ways to create leverage. One is, for example, timeline. Timeline is, for example, whenever I work with someone that wants to quit smoking or is thinking of quitting smoking, I use something called timeline, which is, hey, imagine, so you're not sure if you want to quit. Imagine what would happen 3 months from now if you didn't quit, 6 months from now, 7 months, like a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And I just get them in their mind to travel through time in different scenarios. And then at an unconscious level, they make a decision. Obviously, this is the abbreviated form, the summarized version. But there's timeline. There's also one of my favorites, which I love to use, which is hypnosis. Look into my eyes. And so I like to, hypnotic language is very, very powerful. And it's just based on utilizing language based around how the mind thinks. And so that is, and that's very, very powerful. So there's different ways that you can create leverage. I'm not going to go through all of them over here, but I want you to just understand the different steps. So step number 1 is you want to connect and appreciate their world. Step number 2 is you want to get leverage. Okay. So you want to get leverage. Now, let's go on to step number 3. How many of you have children? Who here has children? Any of you have kids? So let me know how many of you have kids. So I have 2 kids. I have my son and my daughter. My son looks a little bit like me, maybe a little bit like this. Hello. Maybe a little bit cuter. This is based on my face, but so my son is 2 years old, and my daughter is 5 years old. Konen 3, yes, 3. Khalid, oh, amazing, that's awesome. 3 kids for Konen, awesome. So my son comes in one day. Hi, Maria. Great to see you. Maria won my book the other day in a challenge, in a competition. I'm so excited to see you. So anyway, sorry, I have 2 kids. My son is 2 years old. My daughter's 5. We come back. We went and got them ice creams. We both have cones. We come into the house, and my son, he runs and like he's running around. The ice cream drops. So the cone drops, ice cream drops. Cries, oh my God, he's crying, he's going, ah. My daughter runs to him and she's like, what happened? He, boof, knocks over her ice cream. Now she starts crying. Now both of them are, okay? Then my wife is like, guys, calm down. Basically, the whole house is pandemonium. Now, luckily, I come in, the hero. Maybe not, not the hero you might think after you hear the story. So I run in, and I'm like, oh my God, and I run, and I slip, and I boom, and I fall. What do you think happened when I fell? To the kids crying. So, guys, what do you think happened when I fell down? What do you think happened to the kids crying? Yeah. Major saying they laughed. Yes. Empowerment talks. Yes. They laughed. Yes. 100%. I have the meanest kids in the world. No. Khalid Khan. Yes. They stopped. Wifaq. They were shocked. Yes. Laughing. Yes. My kids are mean. They made fun of me. They laughed. They're looking at me. They went, huh? And they start laughing, and I'm like, seriously? And I look at it, I'm like, guys, stop it, go back to crying, come on, no, seriously, go back to crying, like cry. And I'm like, so come on guys, cry again. But they are laughing so hard and they can't go back to crying. Why? Because of step number 3. Step number 3 is interrupt the pattern. Okay, let me repeat that. So you've connected, you understand their world, you've gotten leverage, you find out what is the pattern that they have, and then you interrupt the pattern. And this is so powerful. Oops, what's going on? This is so powerful. I'll give you another example that you might all be able to relate to. How many of you've been you're like having a heated argument, right? Imagine this. You're like having a heated argument, maybe with a spouse or somebody else. You're like, and then your phone rings, and it's your boss. And for some reason, you have to pretend like you're cool, because maybe you're out of the office and he doesn't know you're out the office. Oh, I don't know, whatever it is. But so you're sitting there, and then you're like, hello. And you're yes, and then you talk, and then you hang up the phone and you go, anyway, look, please don't do it again. What happened to all the anger? What happened to all the anger? What happened to all the where did it go? You interrupted the pattern. And so this is so powerful. When it comes to transforming someone, you got to find the pattern that doesn't work, and you got to interrupt it. You got to break it somehow. And there's multiple parts to a pattern, from physiology, focus, language. And when you can you can disrupt that, it is very, very, very powerful. So step number 3 is interrupt the pattern. Okay. So now, step number 4. Now, sometimes when I work with people, what happens is a lot of the time we think our problems are like unsolvable. Okay. Or we just think there's no way we can do it. So, for example, I told you about step number 1, appreciate their world. Sometimes someone comes to me and they say, "Oh my God, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to find out all about a person." I said, "Listen, if I gave you a list of, I don't know, 15 questions, could you ask those questions?" And they go, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, that's it. Then you can do it." And what I've done is literally I've taken the unsolvable thing and I've just reframed it or rephrased it into something that is easily solvable. Okay. And so the next step is what I call, hold on. And so the next step is literally what I call define the problem in solvable terms. So step number 4 is you want to define the problem in solvable terms. And defining the problem in solvable terms is it sounds simple, but you cannot underestimate it. Sometimes, like literally, I've spoken to people and they have crazy stress, they have crazy anxiety, they worry quite frequently, and they come to me and they say, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? I say, actually, you know what? You actually have a pretty cool gift. And they go, what do you mean? And I say, like, you actually have, like, your mind, it's like you think of something and it gives you powerful feelings. And they go, yeah, it's such a problem. It's such a problem. I say, actually, no, it's not. It's like you have a Ferrari and you're using it in reverse. I can just show you how to move it forward instead of backwards. So, you think of positive things and it'll make you feel really good instead. Would you like that? And they go, yeah, okay. And all I've done is I've taken this thing that seems unsolvable and I define it in solvable terms. And when you define a problem in solvable terms, for example, someone that says, I can't lose weight. And you just say, if I gave you something to do, for 10 minutes a day, could you do it? That's defining a problem in solvable terms. You're taking, you're giving a very simplified solution to this challenge, right? And that does so much at an unconscious level. Are we making, you guys getting me so far? Okay, so let's repeat. Step 1, connect and understand their world. Step 2, get leverage. Step 3, interrupt the pattern. Step 4, define the problem in solvable terms. Does this all make sense? Can I just get a little yes? Are you guys finding this valuable? Crickets. Cricket. It's a crash course. There's a crash course in NLP techniques. I'm giving you a lot in the short time that we have together because I love to over deliver and I want to give you a whole bunch in the short time that we have together. So excellent. Yes. Wifak saying valuable. Srini, yes. Ram, yes. Konen, yes. Jagnish, yes. All right, excellent. All right, very cool. So let's go on to the 5th step. Now, I want to share with you something that I do at the moment. So I have my my page on Facebook, etc. And what happens is sometimes when people come to my course, afterwards they give me a testimonial, right? So let's say this is one of them, and when I received this, okay, this is, I'll tell you exactly what I do. So I read this. So being part of Munir's NLP was a life-changing experience. Sessions are fun, lively, makes you change the way you think, act, react, and your ability to influence others. I love the way he brings everything to life by narrating real-life incidents instead of preaching facts and ideas. He's an amazing thinker, speaker, motivator, and they've had a profound impact on both my personal and professional life. Now, when I like, I just want you to imagine for a moment, someone says something amazing about you, and it feels so good. It feels so good. Now, this is that feeling of, knowing that you've impacted someone's life. That is such an amazing feeling. I want to have that feeling with me when I doubt myself. Right? Does everyone follow me so far? This is a powerful feeling. I read this, I feel so amazing. I feel so grateful. I feel so happy. I feel confident in my abilities because I've delivered. And let's be honest, how many of us doubt our abilities from time to time? So what I do, I read that thing, and I'll just show you very quickly. This is an essential oil called Citrus Bliss. It doesn't matter what flavor, just something that you don't smell very frequently in life, okay? I read that, and when I read that, I go, oh my God. And oh my God, you see, like right now, I feel strong. Why? Because anytime that I am in a peak state, when I am at my best, I smell this. And what happens is, have you ever, you've heard a song like when you were younger, you heard a song today and it reminds you of that special someone. Or maybe you walk by, you smell something and it takes you back to your childhood. There are triggers that we have in life that take us back. They create emotions that are powerful, that allow us to deliver at another level. And so whenever I feel grateful, whenever I feel powerful, whenever I am just feeling at the top of my game, I might take this, and I have a power band. I have a band that I was taking to events, and I would put it on this band because, especially at an event, I knew I'd feel amazing quite frequently. And then I'd be like, yeah, and like celebrating at one point in time, and then I'd go and I'd smell the band, and I'm anchoring this feeling to the smell. Okay, so what is the next step? So the next step is called Access Empowering Resources. How many of you know the game Super Mario? How many of you know the game Super Mario? So in the game Super Mario, he's like running. He jumps up, gets the star, boom, untouchable. Nothing can stop him. When you access empowering resources, for me, it's this, I have empowering resources, nothing can stand in my way. Boom, I feel more powerful. How many of you would like it if you had an emotion switch, a little trigger, something that you could switch on confidence, you could switch on power, you could switch on like feeling powerful? How many of you would find that useful? Yes, Khalid, yes, excellent. How many of you, seriously, like if you could just switch on confidence when you wanted to, how useful would that be? And this is what I do. I don't need to do it as much because I speak every single day right now. But when I first started speaking and I needed to feel confident, I'd switch on a power trigger to feel confident. Right now, just so you know, whenever I smell that, I don't know if you saw, but I explode, I get powerful. And so step number 5 is access empowering resources. And there's different ways of doing it. Accessing empowering resources, there's something called we call anchoring. And there's a lot to anchoring, more than I've shown you, from collapsing anchors, stacking anchors, a whole bunch of things. But anchoring, then you have hypnosis, again, to create empowering resources for different situations, timeline. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. But accessing empowering resources is such a powerful step. Okay, so that's step number 5. Now, Now, step number 6. A little while ago, I lost my job. All right. So, I told you that my boss came to me and he said all of those things. Luckily, I started preparing. I mean, I was not caught with my pants down, for lack of a better phrase. I'd started preparing, but when I did lose my job, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of things that like I'd say to myself that was like, but can you do it? You've always been employed. Are you good enough? What if I fail? What if I'm not the best marketer? What if blah 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 blah? And I had all these negative thoughts, that negative voice inside your head. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I knew how to handle it. So I was like, okay, this negative voice is not going to serve me. I need to overcome this voice fast if I want to support my family, and I don't want to work for anybody ever again. So I got to get over my negative beliefs very, very quickly. So what I did was I went and I took all the negative things that I was saying to myself. I converted them using these different processes. I interrupted the pattern, and then I created a video of all the positive. So I did all the shift. I interrupted the pattern. I created empowering resources. But then I said, okay, I did it once. Is it going to stick? I'm not taking any chances. It could do it, very likely, but I'm not taking any chances. So I created a video with personal incantations, okay, which was specifically related to the things that I didn't want. And I talked about the things that I did want. So, what if I don't make money? And then instead, like, this is just one of them. For example, I'm financially abundant and money comes to me naturally. This is just one of the things that I was saying to myself. But, and because it's a video, I could play it again and again and again and again, and I can repeat, because this is what step number 6 is. You want to condition the change. How do we condition the change? Condition the change. Imagine you have a stick and you put it in the sand and you go, and then you put it in the sand again. One time, if the wind blows, your line will be gone. But if you go again, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your unconscious mind. And so there are many ways that you can do this. There's, for example, swish technique, anchoring, hypnosis. There's multiple different ways that you can utilize that. So step number 6 is condition the change. And then step number 7 is you want to test it. What do I mean by test? Test an ecology check. I'm not going to go into ecology check, but test it. Here's what I mean by test. Imagine if someone comes to my wants to work with me and they say, okay, you know what, I want to quit smoking. I say, okay, great. I work with them. Guess what I do at the end of the session? Counterintuitive. I offer them a cigarette. You're like, what? What do you do? Offer them a cigarette. Why would you do that? Well, if they take it, I might need a little bit more work. If they don't take it, I'm good, right? But testing is not a bad thing. Like you don't need to get things perfect from day one. And here's what I mean by that. Imagine for a moment. So you're cooking. When you're cooking, if you're cooking, you may be the best cook in the world, but at the same time, you need to test. You need to taste to say, okay, I need a little bit more salt or a little bit more pepper. You need to adjust. These NLP techniques aren't just, all these techniques. They don't just, I will say it to you and khalas, ma salama, bye bye. I did my work. No, it's about getting results. And to get results, you always got to test. You got to, okay, you test it and you go, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to condition a bit more, or maybe I need to do a little bit more, or maybe I need to address something else. Okay. Does this all make sense? Drop me a little sense. And was this useful? If this was useful, I would love to know just drop me a little text saying useful in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay, so these are. Let me just go back. Okay. So excellent. Fatima saying useful. Kanin useful. Srini saying useful. Khalid, great and valuable information. Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you got so much out of it. So let's just talk about that. So step number 7, test and ecology check. All right. So you want to test, and that's it. So very quick recap. We've gone through these 7 steps. I've gone through them very, very quickly. I appreciate that, but I have stuck to my time. I said we're gonna done, 1 hour you're giving me, I'm done. Boom, in 1 hour. So the 7 steps to transformation are: number 1, connect and appreciate their world. Number 2, get leverage. Number 3, interrupt and annihilate the pattern. Number 4, define the problem in solvable terms. Number 5, access empowering resources to make the change. Number 6, condition the change until it becomes a habit. And number 7, you want to test and do an ecology check. So I hope you guys have found this very useful. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys. Quick couple of things. 1, please stay in touch with me. Like I said, I go live every single day. I share so many of these different tips. I've gone live 200 days in a row. Go to youtube.com/Munir and hit the subscribe button. I would love to share these different things with you on an ongoing basis. So that's number 1. Go there now, type it somewhere if you want to. I will wait. I will wait for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, you thought I was frozen there for a second. Kunen's like waiting to come in. 2, 1. Okay, cool. And the next thing is, like I said, when you stay till the end. So if you want to go, you want this gift, the download, the ebook of these 7 steps that talk through them, give a couple more tips about them, etc. Go to mastermindnlp.com/gift. Okay, mastermindnlp.com/gift. All right. So go there, enter your name, email address, and you will receive the download so that you can get that. Okay. So that's mastermindnlp.com/gift. All right, cool. Well, I want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate, I honor every single one of you guys here today for showing up, for rocking up, for being extremely, for interacting and playing full out. I appreciate all of you. And I'm open to, if you have any questions, if you have anything. 1 hour on the dot.
Wow, that's so great, Munir. Wonderful. So many powerful tips and such a wonderful book as a gift. Congratulations, our audience, and thank you so much, Munir. Heartfelt gratitude from all of us for a very powerful, very useful session. And it's definitely, we all enjoyed it. And I request all of our audience, please put in the chat box, thanks to Munir, and also you can ask the question whatsoever you have in mind, so that together with the help of Munir, you can become empowered. You can become a better version of yourself with all the tips, the powerful tips, what he has given and whatsoever he has not given. So I have put the details of Munir in the chat box. You can visit his social media platforms. You can subscribe it, like it, and be in touch, because every day he talks on social media. And if you keep on watching his social media platforms, every day you will keep on learning something. So thank you so much. And please put in the chat box your questions. But before I take questions from audience, Mr. Munir, if you allow me, can I ask some questions, sir?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Very good. Thank you so much. NLP is a wonderful tool, and it seems to be one of the most powerful or recognized effective tool for the human intelligence and human improvements in terms of how do we think, how do we behave, how do we say and all. So with your experience, because you seems to be practicing NLP since many, many years. So with the time and with all the new transformative technologies, AI and all such things are coming up, do you think it's further going to be enhance this NLP tool, or something else? Like people say the CBT is another tool or something else. How as an individual, what shall we look into, and how we can maximize the benefit of NLP, sir?
Yeah, that's a great question. So NLP was developed in the 1970s, right? By Richard Bandler, Dr. Richard Bandler, and John Grinder. One of the most amazing things about studying with both of them, who have their competing schools, by the way, but they both have a very different style, is they've both taken it, advanced it from where it was in the 70s. So, for example, when I met and studied with John Grinder, who's the other, he has what he calls new code NLP. New code NLP utilizes, and basically, I don't think anybody here teaches new code with regards to NLP. And new code NLP just has some advancements in terms of how to use NLP. But the biggest part of NLP, or the thing that NLP was founded on, is modeling successful people. So taking people that have had the success that you want to have, and modeling it. So for example, in the last month, I tripled my reading speed. Okay. I tripled my reading speed. Now, I didn't triple I tripled my reading speed because I used an NLP technique called modeling, but NLP doesn't teach you how to not necessarily triple your speed, but it teaches you how to find people that have had the results that you want to have, and to recreate them, so that it's always evolving in that sense for the people that use it. In that sense, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the most important part, and that's one part that I've continued to do in my life. I've found people that have achieved what it is that I want to achieve, and I model them at another level, not just asking them, hey, what do you do? There's advanced techniques of modeling, but yeah, so in that sense, it does evolve as well. And and it's based it's based on a number of different therapies as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Muneeb. Now, other question coming to my mind is that most of us, what I have even within me, there are many limiting beliefs out there. Yeah. And one of the most common limiting beliefs are fears, or certain phobias. So how NLP can effectively be used to get rid of my negative beliefs, especially the fears?
Perfect. So that comes down to step number 3. Interrupt the pattern. So I'll do a very quick experiment with you, or example with you, just so that everyone can see. Let's say, just tell me one of the things that you might be saying to yourself that creates a fear. For example, I would say, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? You're such a screw up, or something like that. What may you be saying to yourself?
I might say that I am not a good public speaker.
Okay, excellent. All right. Not excellent that you're not about it, but excellent for the example. So what I want you to notice is, where does that, whose voice is it? How strong is the voice? Okay. I'm not, maybe there's a part of you, I'm not a public speaker, it's not a light voice. Would I be completely wrong in saying that? Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So what you do, okay, when we think, there's 3 main ways that we think, okay? We're either visualizing different things, we're hearing different things that we say to ourselves, or we're feeling something. That's how our brain processes information. When you're saying something to yourself, like, I'm not a good public speaker, the way in which you say something to yourself will have a bit of an effect on you. Okay, so if in your mind you're going, I'm not a good public speaker, I'm not a good public speaker, your mind takes it seriously. So what I would do is I would try this exercise out, and it might seem silly. I don't know if you're going to want to do it in public, but I highly recommend doing it. Just go in a Mickey Mouse voice and go, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not a public speaker. And by the way, the laughter is good. And I'll tell you why the laughter is good. As soon as you laugh, why are you laughing? Because it seems silly, right? If you're thinking that voice is silly and you're associating that phrase with being silly and you don't want to take it seriously, are you going to take that thought seriously? Okay, so that's one way. So just try it. Just go. You can even mute your mic if you prefer.
Yeah.
But make it. It doesn't have to. It can be Mickey Mouse. It can be Donald Duck, Daffy Duck. But just make it very funny and just go, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker. And then what are you doing? You're interrupting the pattern. Does this make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you so much. The other question, Mr. Munir, is that we all have some blind spot. Like, yes, we can know we are afraid or we are fearful of something, but there are certain blind spot, certain habits which unconsciously we are doing. So is there any method in NLP to get rid of those bad habits or negative habits or destructive habits?
There's a lot of different techniques that you can use to get rid of habits. Are you talking about habits or feelings or things that you don't know you're doing? I wasn't sure of the question.
Yes, something unconsciously I am involved into, which I don't know that these are the bad habits, but I want to get rid of them. If those can be identified by someone through NLP process.
So can you give me an example?
Like procrastination.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as soon as you identify any different pattern, you can 100% using these 7 steps, you can totally do that. So Dr. Najib had a great one. You prefer to oppose the pattern, reverse the words, repeat, continue, then practice being a good speaker, then super speaker. Yeah. So 100%, there's a lot of different ways that you can interrupt the pattern. Another great way that you might, because neuro-linguistic programming is 3 things. Neuro, which is how the brain works or processes information, linguistic, and then the processing is how we store and process information. But linguistic, how do we use language to represent? Okay. Another great thing is you can do is, instead of just saying to yourself, I'm not a good speaker, and you go, no, I am a good speaker. That might be a bit too big of a jump, but you can actually say to your mind, when you say I'm not I'm not a good speaker, you just go, I have not been a good speaker up until now. Okay, so you add these 3 words, up until now. Okay, so this way you're using language, and now I choose to become a great speaker. So what you're doing is you're not completely disagreeing with your unconscious mind. You're saying, okay, yeah, maybe you were right, but now moving forward, we're changing the script. So
what you're telling, yeah.
So that's another technique that you can use.
So what I'm learning from this conversation, Mr. Munir, is that all our negative beliefs, all those elements which are stopping us to move forward in our life to achieve success, can be eliminated if we do this NLP processes. Am I right?
100%. I mean, NLP is literally understanding the processes. What creates our thoughts? What creates our beliefs? How do you change it? That's what NLP is about, is understanding why we do what we do, why we don't do what we should do, and why we do what we shouldn't do. Naughty. But and then how to utilize that to create transformation, to take ourselves to another level. Like for me, it's the one skill that truly transformed my life. So
I think most of our audience must be looking for the solution. So if someone has to approach you, Do you conduct any NLP training? What is the process? How to reach you and how to get benefit from you, sir?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different methods. When you go onto when you download the sheet, the mastermindnlp.com/gift, you'll be on the newsletter. Plus, on the next page, it will give you an option to check out one of the digital courses I have. But also, I do a webinar every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. UAE time. I'll be talking about this process, but I'll give you details of our transformation weekend, which is in December. So if anyone is interested in that, definitely come and check it out. Come join us on Wednesday. I'll be going through this in a little bit more detail again, but then at the end, I talk about our transformation weekend in December, which is just 2 days. And I'd love to have you guys join. Yeah.
Great.
So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. I'll request my audience to ask the questions. And before that, Mr. Munir, just the last one. And that is your experience with Empowerment Talks coming. I believe that you had come earlier also. You had spoken on another wonderful subject. So what's your experience about the Empowerment Talk? How do you feel? And what do you suggest going forward, sir?
So, I mean, I love the platform. It's a platform that was designed to create contribution, and I think that there's no nobler cause. Like, this was created to help people, and I love what it stands for. I love the contribution it adds to people. I love how much it's helped so many different people over the last 199 episodes. And I gotta say, it's been an honor to serve, to meet some amazing people, to interact with so many awesome people on here. So I have such high respect for all of you guys doing what you're doing and doing so much for people in society. This is one of those times where it's been needed so much. And yeah, I have the highest respect for everybody in that regard.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Munir. And on behalf of our founder, Faisal, and co-founder, Yash Rawat, thank you so much. And on behalf of the audience present here, and to our YouTube audience, and whosoever watching live, and whosoever will be watching later on this video, this episode, thank you so much for being part of our journey. And wish you all good luck. And thank you, Mr. Munir, for a great session. Very insightful, very useful. And I'm sure with your inputs, with your all golden wisdoms and golden nuggets, we are going to implement and make a difference in our life. So thank you so much. May God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Please keep in touch, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys.